The Russian anonymous Z channel, associated with the Russian armed forces, reported on the serious difficulties of the occupiers due to the use of Ukrainian heavy multicopters Baba Yaga. According to the author, these drones are capable of solving a wide range of tasks and remain virtually invulnerable to Russian electronic warfare systems. We need to deliver cargo. Baba Yaga is flying. We need to blow up a dugout. Baba Yaga is flying. Mine the approaches. Destroy artillery. Stop the assault group. Destroy the work point of our operators. We can list for a long time, the author of the post admits. According to him, the Ukrainian military has increased the number of crews and drones themselves, and thanks to the weak performance of Russian electronic warfare systems, there is now no need to establish communication via Starlink on these devices. In addition, Baba Yaga's flights are no longer limited to nighttime. These drones operate in daylight as well. As an example, the channel described an incident on one of the front lines. Russian mortarmen installed a 120mm mortar in a destroyed settlement and began shelling Ukrainian positions. The author of the post notes that he expected an attack by any possible means, from a kamikaze drone to artillery. However, in the morning, Baba Yaga approached the position at high speed, hovered over the target, dropped ammunition, and then quickly moved away. The ammunition hit a shelter next to the mortar, disabling the fire point, and there are thousands of such examples in war. The author concludes, Baba Yaga is the unofficial name of the Ukrainian heavy multicopter Vampire UCAV designed to drop ammunition and transport cargo. These drones are capable of carrying a significant payload, operating at any time of day and night, and using various types of warheads. Their effectiveness at the front is recognized even by the enemy, and the flexibility of use makes them an important element of modern warfare. The name Baba Yaga, borrowed from the Slavic folklore, describes all heavy Ukrainian bomber drones. Unlike those small single-use drones, Baba Yaga can bomb the target with really heavy charges, come back, rearm and perform another strike mission soon after. These bomber drones can drop 15-kilogram bombs, while those small quadcopters do not even weigh this much themselves. It is great that Ukraine is making these drones domestically. This helps the defenders of Ukraine have a steady flow of great weapons that absolutely do make a difference on the battlefield. Also, it may be something that Ukraine's defense industry can export to its allies in the near future. The Ukrainian Defense Forces continue to methodically destroy Russia's oil infrastructure, which supplies the army of the aggressor country. Recently, footage of a large-scale fire near the oil refinery in Slavyansk-on-Kuban in Krasnodar Krai appeared online. Local residents claim to have seen drones over the city and report the work of Russian air defense. Russian media write that on August the 8th, Krasnodar Krai faced the most massive daytime drone attack. Air raid sirens were announced throughout the region in the morning, after which internet outages began there. The airports of Sochi and Gelendzhik did not accept or release planes. Footage of vacationers being evacuated from Sochi beaches was published online. In addition, due to drone strikes in Sochi, a concert by American rapper Akon was almost disrupted. Due to the threat of a drone attack, an evacuation of the arena where the musician was scheduled to perform was announced. It was reported that after the air raid, concert goers began to return tickets en masse. Visitors to Akon's concert in Sochi are being evacuated due to the threat of a drone attack. The city is once again sounding a siren. The sky has been closed for the second time in a day. wrote one of the Russian publics. Earlier, at 2 Rosneft refineries attacked by drones last week, several oil refining units were stopped and repairs will take about a month. We are talking about the Novokubishevsk oil refinery and the Ryazan oil refinery. This has not happened since March. The Novokubishevsk oil refinery suffered damage to the atmospheric column of the primary oil refining unit AVT-11, capable of producing 18,900 tons per day. The plant still has one more unit, AVT-9, capable of processing 4,700 tons of oil in 24 hours, but the operation of the facility has been completely stopped. The refinery produced 8.3 million tons of oil products per year. In the case of the Ryazan oil refinery, the nature of the damage to the structural elements of the facility and equipment is unknown. The regional authorities of the occupying country reported a fire, smoke, and UAV debris falling on the territory of the facility. The operation of the plant, which is capable of processing 13.5 million tons of oil per year, has been stopped by 50%. Let us recall that the day before, the Ukrainian command confirmed the successful defeat of another oil refinery in Russia. We are talking about the Afipsky oil refinery in Kuban. This refinery processes 6.25 million tons of oil per year, which is more than 2% of all refining in Russia. It was here that the Russian army received fuel for its troops. The Taigan Reservoir in the Belogorsk region of the Crimea, annexed by Russia, has begun to become swampy due to severe shallowing. Local residents told Krim.Reli that many reservoirs in the steppe Crimea are becoming shallow due to the drought. A similar situation is developing in other regions of the Crimean Peninsula annexed by Russia. The Taigan Reservoir, located in the Belogorsk region of Crimea, has been shallowing since spring. A local historian speaking to a Krim.Reli correspondent on condition of anonymity suggested that due to the strong and prolonged shallowing, it is undergoing degradation and changes in its ecosystem. Currently, the Taigan Reservoir is experiencing siltation due to its strong shallowing, which increases evaporation, resulting in even more intensive drying of the reservoir. Siltation worsens the availability and very presence of food resources and habitats for the reservoir's fauna. There is a general change in the biota. Biota is a historically formed set of species of living organisms united by a common habitat. This will negatively and significantly affect the microclimate of the surrounding area, a decrease in air and soil humidity, a decrease in groundwater, the local historian said. The Russian authorities stopped dumping water from the Taigan Reservoir into the Byuk-Karasu River back in June, when the reservoir had already become very shallow. According to the local historian, since then the water has not been dumped anymore due to the lack of its useful volume in the reservoir. Water discharge from the nearby Belogorsk Reservoir stopped at the end of June, switching the reservoir to accumulation mode as a strategic reserve for the needs of southeastern Crimea. The reason for this was that with the onset of summer and the increase in water demand, the Russian authorities in Crimea increased the discharge of water from the Belogorsk Reservoir into the Byuk-Karasu River for the needs of southeastern Crimea, which led to an accelerated drop in the water level in the reservoir. Currently, the Belogorsk Reservoir is one of the most filled among the Crimean reservoirs. On the Crimean Peninsula annexed by Russia, a critical situation with the filling of reservoirs is developing due to drought. Shallowing and then drying up of rivers on the Crimean Peninsula began to be recorded practically from the end of spring and the beginning of summer. On June the 1st, Russian authorities declared a regional natural emergency in 8 districts of Crimea due to drought. In such difficult conditions, many people living in Crimea are ready to leave. This situation poses a threat to Russia. There are even such ideas that Russia will hand over Crimea to Ukraine without fight in the future.